My name is Ben Hyland. As Andrew said, I work for CCUSA. That stands for Camp Counselors USA. We send people from the UK, from all over Europe, from Australia, from New Zealand, from all over the world to go and work in American summer camps. Now, the great thing about CCUSA, from my point of view, is that everyone that works for the company has actually been away and done the program themselves. So before I worked for CCUSA, I went away and worked in a summer camp in California called Cloverleaf Ranch. It was a working ranch all year round. Really fantastic experience. The main focus was equestrian activities and horses. I'd never been on a horse in my entire life up until I went there. I was actually taught things like archery, riflery. I ran, football, basketball, tennis, that kind of thing. So a great thing about summer camp is that it's fantastic to go away and have skills already. Obviously, we're looking at people that can coach sports, do have certifications, experience with children, but ultimately you can learn new things when you're over there as well. So I went for 5 summers. Just had a great time. After my second or third summer, I actually came back, applied for a job with CCUSA, and I've been recruiting the company for the past 7 years now. So what is summer camp? There's nothing quite like it here in the UK on the same scale. There are about 10,000 summer camps across the States. We work with about 1,000 of those. Now we think those 1,000 are the best ones. The reason is they're all ACA accredited, which is the American Camping Association, has to reach a certain benchmark to fit into that categorization. We also visit these camps during the summer to make sure that our staff that we send across there are happy. The camp are offering all the type of facilities and activities and running the camp safely like they say they are in the first place. So the camps we work with, imagine like a picture postcard location, okay? So away from the hustle and the bustle of the big cities, places like in wooded areas, in forests, in mountainous regions, really beautiful, beautiful locations in the outdoors. It's hard work. I'm not going to lie about that. It's full on the entire time. These kids, you get them out of bed at 7:30, 8 a.m. You have breakfast with them. You'll be doing activities all morning. You have lunch with them, activities all afternoon, have dinner with them. Evening activity like a dance or a talent show or a quiz, scavenger hunt, something like that. And then they'll go to bed 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. So that's when you get time off. An hour in the evening before you're so tired yourselves that you want to go straight to bed and ready for the next day. So it is hard work, but ultimately a very rewarding thing to go away and do. You're going to be in charge of running activities. So are the specific sports that you have specialty in? Do you have any coaching certifications? Do you have experience with kids? All this is really important to us finding you the perfect job. Now, it does sound cheesy, best summer of your life, but ultimately, I wouldn't have done it for 5 years myself if I didn't genuinely believe that. So, as a camp counselor, you are a role model for these kids, okay? These kids are going to look up to you. You're not their parent, you're not their friend, you're sort of a cool older brother, older sister, that kind of thing. So they're going to look up to you the entire time you're there. Your responsibility is making sure they're safe. That's number one, the most important. But also making sure they're having fun the entire time, okay? Your enjoyment, your fun, your summer is going to be the reward you get from making sure the kids are having a good time. Okay, so you're going to be living in a cabin or a platform tent. There is going to be electricity. There is going to be, hot running water at the camps. It's not going to be completely rural and desolate. So get that out of your head straight away. You're also going to be sharing cabin and the kids with a counselor or two, so you can share that responsibility with other co-counselors. Like I said at the beginning, you're with the kids 24/7. So even at that 10:30 time, when they're all tucked up in bed, someone in your cabin might be homesick, a child might wet the bed, that kind of thing. It's your responsibility, being their cabin counselor, to get them out of, put their arm around them, don't worry about it. It happens all the time. It happened to me when I was a kid, Do not panic. This is very normal, very natural. It's your responsibility to make sure they're comfortable, happy, safe the entire time. So, eligibility, you have to be 18 by the 1st of June 2011. previous experience with kids is really beneficial. What's happened with the camping industry in the States this year is the competition for jobs is really competitive. The reason is because of the economy, less kids or less parents can send their kids to summer camp. So because of that, camp directors are having to hire less staff, and they're also looking more locally, i.e. American staff members, to get cheaper counsellors. So when you come to us, it's really important that you tell us all the skills you have, that we can hopefully accept you and find you the perfect job. You need to be available for a minimum of 9 weeks, because that's how long the camps will run. Okay, so we understand you have, if you're studying, you have exams, if you're working, you have work commitments, other kind of things outside of just general life. We need you to be available on the 20th of June at the latest. The schooling system is different in the States, so the camps will have already started by that point. So we cannot accept you if you're available on the 21st or later, because every camp will have started. We need to be available until the 15th of August. Again, that gives us a little bit of flexibility to make sure your camp will have definitely finished by that point, and also to ensure that you have a little bit of extra time at the end to go and travel and see a bit of America if you choose to. Okay, we also have different types of camp. Okay, there's going to be a full list on our website, which is ccusa.co.uk, so make a note of that website if you want to check us out. Now, the reason that we have a variety of different types is because we want to make sure you're comfortable from day one. So, for example, we have special needs camps. Now, I understand that not everyone is going to be comfortable in that environment. We have Girl Scout camps. I understand that not everyone's going to want to go and work in a Girl Scout camp. We have traditional camps, speciality camps, specific requirement camps. Well, what we ask you to do, disadvantaged camps as well for the kids from inner city areas. What we ask is you select at least 4 of those types out of the 8. That gives us, again, that little bit of flexibility to make sure we find the perfect job based upon your skills and your requirements. Okay? Like I said a moment ago, you can get to ccusa.com or .co.uk. If you go to .com, it will actually select your country anyway. And that is where you make your application. It's all done online. What we ask you is to go to the website, complete the application. We ask you to write an autobiographical essay. It sounds like a lot of information. We want a lot of information, because how else are we going to look you in the eye and say, we're going to get your perfect job? The only way we can do that is if you tell us everything about you, about your skills, about your experiences. We ask for 3 references. These references must be someone you've known for at least 6 months. Obviously, you're working with kids, so we need to get you a police check. With some smiling passport photos, any current certifications you have, whether it be coaching, whether it be Duke of Edinburgh, whether it be lifeguarding, let us know all these bits of information. We ask for the £45 application fee, which, if you're not accepted, by the way, that's refunded. Okay, we're not out to fleece you, we're out to make sure you're committed to the program. And we have to sign a program agreement, which is a contract between yourselves and CCUSA. Okay, so this is what we charge. This is £444. That's an application fee of £45, then an acceptance fee paid 15 days after you've been accepted onto the program of £399. Additional costs for you to be aware of, it's probably quite small there, so let me read it out to you. A police background check, that's an ACPO as opposed to a CRB, which is £35. If you already have a CRB or an ACPO, and it's the 1st of June 2010 or more recently, then we can use that. You send us a photocopy. You'll need to get your J1 visa processed at the US Embassy. That will cost £112. And also, something that's not on there that just sprung into my mind, is every camp will require you to get a medical form filled out. That's for the camp's insurance purposes, and so the nurse is aware of any conditions that you may have for emergency situations. Some doctors will charge, some will not. That's down to your individual GP. It's a really simple form that we provide for you, checking your height, weight, blood pressure, that kind of thing, okay? Just for example, when I got mine done, it cost me £20. Okay, and you also get paid when you're there, which is fantastic. Again, this is very small. So let me read this out to you. This is for the entire summer, remember. So, $800 if you're 18 years of age, $975 if you're 19 or 20, or $1,110 if you're 21 plus. Okay, there's additional things like, for example, if you work at a special needs camp, or if you have a specific certification like lifeguard, you get an extra $100 on top of that as well. Two things to consider. Number one, you're not going to get rich going to work in American summer camp. This is definitely an experience program. Go away, have fun, come back and get international work experience on your CVs. The second thing is, your international flights with that program fee are paid for. Your food and accommodation the entire time you're at camp are covered. Your 3-month insurance is all included. So it's really inclusive, and there isn't a lot of outgoing costs until you actually start traveling afterwards. Okay, so what happens next? Once you have completed your application online and paid the application fee of £45, then we'll get you set up with an interview. The interviewers are all over the country. We have about 70 interviewers. We'll try and make it convenient time and location for yourselves. You'll hear within 2 weeks after your interview you've been accepted onto the program, at which point you get full access to the Footprint account, which is the online account. It will prompt you to do things like book your visa appointment, apply for your ACPO, that kind of stuff. And then sit back, relax, and just wait for us to find you the job. So reasons to apply, as I mentioned, you get your return flights included within that cost. It's a one-on-one placement service, so we're asking for all this information from you so we can ensure that the job that we find is something you're happy in from the start. High pocket money, so you can get paid up to $1,100 US again to go away and do this program. Costs are kept very low. Initial costs, you know, $444 is very cheap when you consider everything that is included. Free food and accommodation, all included in that cost. There's a free phone number in the USA. Obviously, when you're applying, you can call our London office. We'll chat to you between 10 and 4, Monday to Friday. Any questions, any queries, any support. When you're in the USA, there's a 24-hour toll-free number. So if you have any worries, concerns, problems, give us a call. We're there to support you for the entire time. 3 months comprehensive insurance. Incredibly important in the USA to have this in case you do twist your ankle, break your arm, have some kind of injury where you have to go and see a doctor, because there is no NHS and you have to be covered by medical insurance to get any treatment. Making friends from all over the world. We work out of 60 countries, so it's not just American people and British people, it's going to be people from all over Europe, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, all over the world. At the end of camp, you get 30 days tagged on to the end of your visa. This means you can travel, you can jump in a car with your new friends from camp, go on a road trip to Las Vegas, go and spend some time in New York, hang out in San Francisco, do whatever you want in that 30-day period. You get a completion certificate to show to future employers, to show, you know, you are worldly, you're independent, you're traveled, you have an extra dimension that may separate you from other candidates applying for other jobs. Visa sponsorship, so we actually book the visa appointment for you. We also meet you at the US Embassy to go through all your forms before you enter the building to make sure you have everything so the whole process runs really smoothly. We also have a meet and greet service in New York, so once you fly in to Manhattan, to JFK, we meet you at the airport, take you to a night's accommodation, and then the next day send you off to your camp, wherever that may be in the USA. Right. I also want to mention that on the 28th and the 29th, probably more specifically, we have a Camp Directors Fair, which is where we fly across 20 or 25 camps from the USA. We get them across to the Novotel in Euston Road in London between 1 and 4, and we invite people along to come and talk face-to-face with the camp directors. The idea is, what I've just explained, we can place people, depending on your skills and experience, the usual way. However, there's one day, on the 29th in London, you can come along and potentially walk away on the day with a summer job secured. So please visit our website, CCUSA.com, and click on Camp Fairs for more information about that. That is all I have to say for now, so thank you very much for coming. Does anyone have any questions?
People that are working in the outdoors and have NGB qualifications, so for example an archery leaders award or an RYA sailing instructors award, are they more employable?
Absolutely.
In America? Are those qualifications recognised as valid?
Yeah, absolutely. Any certifications you have gained in the UK, or anywhere in Europe in fact, can be used in America. It's definitely going to be looked upon in a very positive light, because with those certifications that's also going to bring more than likely experience in coaching or teaching these activities as well. So absolutely anything you have, sports related specifically, is going to be very, very beneficial and definitely recognised in the States.
And does it sometimes happen that if you're doing an American summer camp during the training period before camp starts, that they can actually give you qualifications or sometimes teach you how to teach things? So you actually can gain teaching skills or qualifications from the experience? Yeah,
absolutely. I'd say that when you arrive at camp, you may arrive with a very specific role. So you may be going there to teach archery, or you may be going there to teach basketball or ropes or something along those lines. But I can tell you from my personal experience, I arrived at camp going there to sort of do a bit of tennis and a bit of football and a bit of basketball. And when I arrived, they just said, okay, who would like to learn high ropes? Who would like to be taught riflery? Now, I'm a bit of a wuss, I'll admit that. I did not want to know anything about the ropes or the climbing. I didn't want to climb anything. I'm not a big fan of heights, right? But I put my hand up and said, yeah, I wouldn't mind learning riflery. That's nothing I've ever done before. And so myself, an Australian, American and Canadian were all taught riflery, and that basically worked towards the camp having a bit of flexibility during the summer. So when the main riflery person was on his day off, or sick, or things were double booked, it would mean that I could step in, or another guy could step in, and confidently teach riflery. So yeah, absolutely, there's opportunities to learn and develop your own skills when you're over there as well. Just because you're going to just teach tennis, don't think you're going to be stuck 24/7 just doing that every single day. There will be other opportunities to go on the ropes course, to learn that, to learn archery, to do various different activities while you're out there.
One other question that we get asked quite a lot is there just a reminder of what the lower age limit is and the upper age limit, if there is one, for going on a program like yours in America?
Okay, so you have to be 18 by the 1st of June 2011. That's the minimum, that's a visa requirement. So to get a J1 visa, that's how old you have to be. Generally, we hire up to probably about 30 years old. There's no set rule on that. The reason that we sort of recruit that age is because that's generally going to be the average age of an American staff member. And what you'll find, is that people that have been to camp, so the kids themselves, when they hit 18, they're no longer campers. So they often get hired as staff members, and they're often fast-tracked to sort of leadership roles. So generally we don't like to employ, and camps don't like to employ people 30 plus, just because their boss is probably going to be 19, 20, 21, something like that, more than likely as well. So we generally keep it to 18 to 30. 18 is the minimum. We do look at exceptions 30 plus if a strong candidate comes along.